episode of the one where she knits. If you are new here, my name is Keely. I am a beginner knitter living in Melbourne, Australia, hence the very little amount of clothes. It's 31 degrees outside today, which is beautiful. If this is not your first time watching one of my podcasts, welcome back. Thank you so much for joining us again, and I am glad to have you here. I have a lot to talk about. Not a single finished project yet, again. There's a bit of an explanation behind that one, but I've got quite a few whips to get through. I have been daydreaming again already about my autumn winter knitting plans for next year. Again, I live in the southern hemisphere, so we're not even hit summer yet, and we're like 6 months away from autumn, but a lot of people, creators that I follow, are in the northern hemisphere and they're doing all their crazy autumn winter knits, and it's making me very, very jealous. And there's a lot of new patterns that I've seen come out recently, or I've seen like test knitters be called for, which I have not submitted for any yet. I am a beginner knitter, and that's definitely something I would love to do in the future when I know I have the time to do it. But anyway, I'm rambling. Yeah, so I'm already looking at what I want to knit next year in terms of sweaters, and there are so many on my list, and I have only finished one sweater ever so far. So yeah, there's that. A little bit of an update. We've been very, very busy. It is spring now, so I've had a little bit less time to knit because I also do a lot of gardening, and spring, summer, obviously the garden requires a lot of maintenance and tending to, and so I've been out there you know, planting out my seedlings and things like that, but that's not what you're here for, so I'm not going to bore you with all of my garden spiels. But yeah, we've also had some really, really crappy weather lately, like some pretty bad storms. We had a tree uprooted in our backyard. So I've also had some really good, like, solid knitting days where I've been able to do quite a fair bit in a matter of only a week, and I'm very excited to update you and show you that. What else? I think that's all in terms of an update. But yeah, so let's get right into it. Grab yourself a beverage. Like I said, it's 31, so we are all... What have I got today? I've got a Remedy Raspberry Sodally, absolutely not an ad, but I recently tried these like a week ago and found that I absolutely love them. I'm not trying to cut out sugar or anything like that. I just really liked them, and they were half price. So delicious. If you want to try something. It is a prebiotic soda. I don't know if it actually does anything good for you, but yeah. I don't like a lot of soft drinks. There's that. Normally I have a coffee with me, but it's too hot for that. And I have no ice in the freezer to make an iced coffee. So we're here. But grab your beverage, grab whatever you're working on, and let's get into all my whips. So like I mentioned, I do not have any finished objects yet again. I should have a finished object by now, but I had to pause it. So in my last podcast episode, you would have seen, apologies, I now need to get everything out of my basket because it is at the very bottom. I did not balance everything well. So yes, if you saw my last podcast episode, and I guess we'll call this the closest thing I have to a finished object, you would have seen I was working on my Monday sweater by PetiteKnit. And while it's not finished, I did finish the body, so I don't think you can see. I don't know if you won't be able to see the whole thing in the frame, maybe. There we go. I'll just hide myself. But this is my Monday sweater by PetiteKnit. I'm knitting it in Knitting for Olive Merino, held with their soft silk mohair in the colour Brown Bear. And I'm knitting it on, well, the body is on 4mm needles, and then the ribbing is on 3.5mm needles. And yeah, so we finished the body, did the bind off, did Italian bind off, hated doing that once again. been a hot minute since I've done a bind off for anything because I have so many projects on the go, and so I completely forgot like consistent tension. So I think it'll fix when I block it out. It is slightly uneven, and if I hold it this way you can see that it's kind of like buckling a little bit. I don't know, it's just not even. Oh, I'll let that lighting fix up. So yes, that is my Monday sweater. That's the closest thing I have to a finished object. It is currently off needles. There's no needles on this, and there is a really good reason as to why I did not go into the sleeves for this to finish it off, because I could have finished this by now. But if you have any questions about any of my projects, by the way, that I don't talk about or don't touch on, please leave a comment and I will get back to you on them. I do also put all of my projects up on Ravelry. I try to put all my projects up on Ravelry. I actually don't think all of them are up there currently, but yes, if you've got any questions, please let me know. I really love the Monday pattern by PetiteKnit. I find it very easy, and the reason I haven't finished that Monday sweater is because I did indeed cast on another Monday sweater, which is right here. So now we're getting into the whips. Now, when was it? Last weekend I was sitting at home Saturday night and I was scrolling TikTok while working on one of my other whips, which we'll touch on in a minute. And I was like, oh my god, there's only like 7 weeks until Christmas. And there is only one thing that my partner asked for, and that was a Weasley sweater as a Christmas present. Now, if you don't know what a Weasley sweater is, that's entirely fine. It's the Weasleys are a family from the Harry Potter movies, and Molly Weasley, the mum, knits them jumpers at Christmas time and Harry gets gifted one. Anyway, long story short, that's what she wanted. She wanted me to make her a Weasley sweater. And I was like, oh my god, there's 7 weeks until Christmas. I haven't started that, and it normally takes me about 2.5 months to make a jumper, or it has so far. And I've only made 1.5 jumpers. So I was like, I have to get cracking on this jumper. So we cast on a new project. Now I am using the Monday sweater by PetiteKnit. Where is the back of this jumper? There. I am using the Monday sweater by PetiteKnit pattern again for this. I don't believe the Weasley sweater is a raglan sleeve sweater. I think it's actually a drop shoulder sweater, but I already had this pattern and my partner's not too fast. She essentially just wants a green jumper with her initial on it because she is a Slytherin house. Yeah, she's in Slytherin. Anyway, so here we are. This is her Weasley sweater, or Monday sweater. I've cast it on. I have finished the yoke now and I'm up to splitting for the sleeves for the body. I am merging a couple of different sizes for this one for her. So in my Monday sweater, in the Knitting for Olive, I'm knitting large across the board, and that will get me about 19 to 20 centimeters of positive ease. Hers, I've done the small collar, and then I've done 26 rounds of raglan increases. The small calls for 25, and I think the medium and large call for 27 maybe. And then I will be doing the length of the large because she's quite tall like me. So I've just merged a couple of different sizes together based off what she'll need or how she'll want it to fit. And then on the underarms, when I cast on, when I take the sleeve stitches off and I cast on the underarms, I think it calls for 6. I think I might do 8. She wants a little bit of a boxier fit, so I'll do that just to help with that there. But I am knitting this in Bendigo Woollen Mills Classic 8-ply in the colour Hunter. It's a really gorgeous green. It shows up a little bit different on camera than it does in person, but this has really strong stitch definition. Let me put a couple of things down. So it has really strong stitch definition, which we both really love, and it's going to make it incredibly easy for me to do the duplicate stitch when it comes time to putting her J on the front. So there is that. And I'm absolutely powering through. I've done all of this in a week. So I've done the double folded collar, all of the yoke, and I'm onto the body. And that's just in a week. Are my hands sore? Yes. Am I going to give myself a knitting injury? Most likely. Yeah, I probably will. I am trying to be really mindful of that and not sit for too long and knit for too long in a row. I think I normally knit for about an hour, hour and a half, and then I'll have a break and do some hand exercises because the last thing I need is to be too sore to be able to finish this because I pushed myself too hard. Yeah, so that is my current whip that I'm currently working on, that I'm actively powering through. The Monday sweater, it is a really classic sweater. I know, like, shape wise there's nothing too much, like, too fancy about it. It is just a raglan sleeve. It's got a lot of positive ease, or I guess you can pick the size for the positive ease that you want. So my size will have 19-20 centimeters of positive ease. I think this one will have about 15 for my partner. What else? Oh, it does typically have quite a lot of ribbing on the cuffs of the arm sleeves. I will reduce that for my partner. She won't want that. I think there's like 9 or 12 centimeters of ribbing on the cuffs. She'll probably only want maybe 6 or 7. So I'll make that modification as well. But everything else will remain the same. When I didn't do a gauge swatch for this because I'm already knitting another PetiteKnit pattern in the same wool, just a different color. And I know I hit gauge for that. So yeah, I'm pretty comfortable with not having done a gauge swatch for this one. And also she's trying it on throughout the process. And when I blocked my gauge swatch for my other whip, the fabric became really drapey and really nice. So I'm very excited to see how, yeah, this knits up and then blocks. It should become quite of a looser fabric. It's very structured, or it feels very structured, very stiff right now. It'll loosen up quite a fair amount and become really drapey and flowy, and that's what we love. She also, the only other modification that I will be doing is she likes tight cuffs. So what I will be doing is, once it is done, I will be getting some elastic thread and just popping that through, just like throughout the cuff. I don't know how I'm going to figure that out just yet. But yeah, just to kind of help cinch that in a little bit for her. But yeah, so that is that whip, and that is my active whip at the moment, the one I'm working on the most, and should be finished, well and truly finished, by the next podcast episode. What else do we have? I've got bags upon bags everywhere of all my different whips. So the next whip that we will touch on is the one that I had to stop doing to start doing my Monday sweater. And that is my Audrey top by PetiteKnit as well. There is absolutely a theme here. I do love PetiteKnit patterns. As a beginner knitter, they're extremely easy to read, really easy to comprehend and follow. She really front loads a lot of information. She provides really, really good instructions for, you know, like if there's different decreases and increases on the right side and the wrong side. She gives all of the written instructions for those as well. She also has a lot of videos on her website to follow those instructions. So I just find her patterns really, really well done, and not badly priced for beginners as well. And also easy to modify, which I really like. But anyway, yes. Onto my Audrey top by PetiteKnit. Now, I do apologise. I have one of these holding my resting stitches, and I forgot to pop it on some scrap yarn because I did not have any scrap yarn with me when I needed to split the body. So it's just on that. So you can't, it's really horrible. You can't really tell what this is just from looking at it, but anyway, we'll talk through it. I am knitting this in Knitting for Olive Cotton Merino in the colour Thundercloud, and I am holding this double throughout the whole project. I'm still on my first 2 skeins for this one. I did knit a gauge swatch. I did not hit gauge, so all I did was go up 1 needle size and call it a day. And now I really struggle, I'm going to be honest, I really struggle with gauge swatches, and we're going to sidetrack here for a second because I knit my gauge swatches flat. I actually don't know how you're supposed to knit your gauge swatches in the round. I haven't quite figured that out yet. So if someone has a really good like TikTok or something or tutorial, please let me know because I would love to see that. So I knit in the round, but I do my swatches flat, and someone commented on one of my TikToks that the reason I'm probably not hitting gauge, but then these are coming out what seems to be quite big, is because I'm knitting my gauge swatch flat and my project in the round. I did not do a gauge swatch for my very first jumper. I did not do a gauge swatch for my beanie my first beanie that I knit, or my first jumper that I cast on 10 months ago, which I've never actually shown anyone, which I might pull out today and show people. But so yeah, I don't know how I feel about gauge swatches. Didn't meet gauge, went up half a needle size, and now it's looking quite big. Like if I hold up this side, like it's looking quite big, and I don't know how it's going to block out, but anyway, there's that first concern. Second concern of this project is I made a mistake in the decreases. Now it's probably about 5 or so rows back. I have to get up to show you this. But the pattern says knit 3, then you do your decreases. And as you can very clearly see here, I knit 2 and then did my decreases for like 2 rows. Oh, ow. For like 2 rows in a row. I did that, just got into my head. And now this is the back that I'm currently knitting, so I don't think I'm going to frog it. Haven't quite decided that yet. But anyway, this is my Audrey top. I am really not that far off from finishing it. It worked up so quickly. I did all of the body in like a week and then split it and then did all of, I think I've done like half the decreases so far, and I did that like in one sitting. So yeah, it's really not that bad. I'm really liking the pattern. Again, it's really easy to follow. The netting for olive cotton merino is interesting to knit with. I think part of the problem why I didn't hit gauge is because it's not as stretchy. I'm a very tight knitter. My tension's very tight, and it's not as stretchy as the merino, which I have hit gauge before on, and normally I do hit petite knit gauge. So I don't know if that makes any sense, or if I'm just like creating stories in my head to validate myself. But yes, so that is the Audrey top. I am loving this colour, and once it's done I think it'll look really, really nice. Like with my hair, now that we're back to 100% brunette, it's just easier for me to hold this upside down actually. But yeah, it's a really, really nice, I picked it because it's like a dark grey charcoal and I don't have something this colour in my wardrobe. But it actually in some light pulls to have like a little bit of like a brown undertone, and I don't know if that's because it's a bit cooler or what, but yeah, really, really love it. I think the Audrey top is such a timeless piece, you know, very casual, can be thrown on with some shorts, or I can dress it up a little bit. But yeah, and I really, really like the high neck of the Audrey top. So I feel like I will be able to wear that to the office quite frequently, even though it's got really thin I-cord straps. I feel like the high neck will make it quite versatile for me at least. Yeah, so there is that one. Oh yeah, I'm knitting it on 4.5mm Chiagu needles. Yeah. So there is that whip. This one I was hoping to have obviously finished pretty quickly, but I did have to cast on my Monday sweater, which is why we paused it. So I'm hoping that we're going away camping in 3 or 4 weeks, and so I will be taking this one because obviously it's not too big, and if I need my spare skeins I only have to take 2 more skeins. But yeah, I'm hoping to be able to finish this that weekend. Next whip. This, I guess, isn't really a whip, it is just a cast on, and I am going to recast it. Oh, I completely forgot. I actually already pulled it off the needles. Never mind, we will ignore that one then. I will talk about it because I'll talk about it when I talk about what I'm casting on next. So I'll put that one down for now. What else have we got? Okay, another bag, another whip. The needles come a little bit loose. All right, so this is another one that is quite far done. I definitely need to hurry up and finish. All of my projects are covered in cat hair. When you have 2 cats and an inside dog, it is absolutely impossible to not have cat hair on your whips. But what I'm actually checking for is, when I'm opening these up, is actually any moth eggs or any kind of damage or anything like that. I've seen a lot of people, and I don't know if it's just my social media feed lately, but I've seen a lot of people had their garments damaged, or their projects damaged. So yeah, just checking that out. But anyway, this is my Eva cardigan by PetiteKnit. So I've finished the body. I'm onto the 2x2 ribbing, which I'm actually really enjoying how it's turning out. This is the one that I'm knitting in Bendigo Woollen Mills Classic 8-ply, such a long name, in the colour charcoal. Now, the charcoal does pull a little bit navy, like it has a blue cool undertone, but I don't hate it. So yeah, as you can see, done a lot on the ribbing. I think it's 9 centimeters ribbing it once again, and I've got maybe 1 or 2 centimeters to go. This is quite a thick cardigan. It's going to end up quite thick, very warm. Again, probably why I haven't been working on it too much lately, because it's now, yeah, really hot. 31 outside. That's degrees Celsius, by the way. I realised that, Celsius. But yeah, I'll pop this on so you can kind of see how long it is on me. This is definitely not the top to be trying it over the top of, but this is how it will fit. Again, it will have, I haven't done the button placket, so there will be a lot more here as well. And it will have, hopefully you can see the ribbing there. So I'll do the button, and then by the time it blocks, it will have about 15 to 20 centimeters positive ease. Again, yeah, there's that one. I really like the color of this. I think it'll be a really versatile piece. It's just a basic cardigan. There's nothing too fancy about it. I've quite enjoyed the construction of this as well. Oh, just more pet hair. I've quite enjoyed the construction of this one as well. This is my first cardigan. It has taken me a really long time, only because, again, knitting like nearly 400 stitches back and forth, for me, because I knit in the round more than I knit back and forth, I am such a slow purler because I just don't purl often. I don't hate purling. Well, I do. I hate purling, but it's because I'm slow at it. So that's why this has taken me forever to do. The ribbing has gone a lot quicker because I'm doing obviously both knits and purls on both sides, both the right and wrong side. But yeah, so that is that. I'll finish it soon. It's not like I have a personal vendetta against this or anything like that. I just have no urgency to finishing it right now. Because yeah, once I finish off the ribbing on the body, I've then got to do the sleeves, and then I've got to do the button placket. Whereas with a jumper, once you finish the body, you just do the sleeves. So I think it's just that little bit extra of work that is stopping me. But anyway. Cool. What else have we got? I think I might show you my very first jumper that I cast on, because there is a bit of a story behind this. Okay, so this is my Novice sweater by PetiteKnit. I don't know if you're going to be able to tell, but this is very, very thick, like really thick. I love it. It's gorgeous, but it's really heavy and really thick. And also, when I bought the yarn for this, I did not buy it with a project in mind. So I ran out, hence why we only have half a sleeve. I don't have any more of this yarn, and while I did buy it from like a big box store and it would probably be quite easy for me to go and pick some more up, it has now been, yeah, nearly 10 months. And the likelihood that they're going to have the same dye lot is very little. Had I gone within a couple of weeks, yes, most likely. So now I don't know what I should do. I do also have, being my first jumper, there's a lot of mistakes with it. Like for starters, when I did, it's a double folded collar, I did it backwards. So the correct side is actually on the inside of my sweater, not the outside where it should be. I don't hate it, but it's, yeah, not ideal. My increases obviously aren't clean or even, and you can just like, they're really, really obvious on where they are. You do for this one, they're continuous increases around the yoke, so it's not like a raglan or a drop shoulder or anything like that. I don't know what this construction is called, but yeah, it's just continuous increases. There's a row here, and a row here. You can probably see them. They stand out like a sore thumb. And then yeah, obviously the last part is that it's just a really heavy sweater and I'm probably never going to wear it. And it's huge. When this blocks out, like, it is ginormous. And the funny thing is, the reason I haven't frogged this yet is A, because it was like the very first sweater I've done. And B, I kind of did really want to finish it. And C, this was actually the second project I did with this yarn. The original project that I did, I frogged because I didn't like it. I had actually bought the Berlin scarf pattern and I did not know much or anything about yarn substitutions back when I started knitting at the start of this year. And the yarn is absolutely not the right yarn for the Berlin sweater. And also my gauge was way off, so it was just this huge tube that I was knitting, and again I ran out of yarn. But anyway, so yeah, this has just been sitting. Oh, and the last thing I did not fix, there's a factory knot in here and I did not fix it before knitting because I didn't know what factory knots were and I didn't know the likelihood of them coming undone and unraveling my work. So this has quite literally been sitting in the bottom of my drawer since like March, maybe February. So yeah, I don't know what to do with it. I will probably unravel the yarn at some stage and donate it maybe. It's not terrible yarn, it's actually quite expensive. I think it's still like $10 or $12 a skein when it was on special. So yeah. It's just yeah, it's huge. Like, that's the sleeve. I didn't know what I was doing when I did this, and that's fine. We've learnt so much since then. But I just wanted to let you know, we all start somewhere, and that somewhere is most likely with a big mistake. And this is my big mistake. But I do really want to, at some stage, actually knit the Novice sweater. I do like the look of the pattern, just not this. Yeah. So they are all my whips. Now let's talk about acquisitions, which kind of also lead me into some questions that I actually have for you. So I don't have any, well, I do have new yarn acquisitions since my first podcast episode. Oh, I can't. Whenever my hair is like, I dry it naturally, like in this state, it's really overwhelming and it just gets always stuck in my eyelashes. Anyway. Yes, yarn acquisitions, cool. I don't have any new yarn acquisitions since my last upload on YouTube. So if you wanted to go see what new yarn I've had recently, I did a whole video on just my yarn. And it's my spring summer plans because all the yarn that I purchased was for my spring summer plans. So that is all in one video. You can go and watch that, but real briefly, I got quite a bit of knitting for Olive Yarn delivered. I got their cotton merino, and their silk. So yeah, they're all my yarn acquisitions, and I won't be buying any yarn for a little bit, even though I definitely have yarn in my cart right now. Not buying any. What I have been buying lately is needles and cords, and so there's a little bit of a story behind this and why they're all in little packets. So when I started knitting, I went and bought individual fixed circular needles because I did not know a lot about, I guess, just knitting and knitting in the round in general. And I learnt that, yeah, I had a really tight tension and I would probably benefit from some metal needles. And so I bought one set of Chiagu needles. And by set, I mean, like, I think it was the 4mm with one cord and my 3.5 to do my Monday sweater. Was that what I did? No, my Eva cardigan. Anyway, and as I've started doing more projects, I've started buying more and more. Now, if you know one thing about Chiagu needles, you know that they are pretty expensive to buy as a set. And you have to buy, or you don't have to, but for the projects that I'm doing, I would have needed 2 different sets to have all the needles that I required. And that was a lot of money to consider dropping all at once, especially when I also needed or wanted nice yarn for my projects. So I have just been buying the cords and the needles individually as I've needed them, because that's what I could afford. But now I have this dilemma of just having a million cord and needle packets and not really any good ways to store them. And so I guess my question to you is, I've seen a lot of different like knitting binders or needle binders and things like that, but how are we storing our needles if we're not buying them in the set? Now, I know I can buy the Chiagu case, but I think it's still like $75. And I know that it's fit for purpose, but if I'm spending that much money on a needle case, then I'm looking at the redesigned needle case, and I think it's the number 14, then that's like $165, and so very expensive, and I would absolutely love it. It is a gorgeous, gorgeous leather product. But, and look, I may end up getting that. So if you have that, can you let me know if you love it, or if you don't like it, why don't you like it? But yeah, can someone please help me with how we're storing our needles and our cords, because I just haven't found a way that works. I literally just have these sitting in my basket right now. But yeah, so there is that. Now, like I did mention earlier that I'm in the southern hemisphere, so it is spring and summer, but everyone in the northern hemisphere, and I follow a lot of creators who live in the northern hemisphere, are in autumn, heading into winter, and they're obviously knitting their autumn-winter plans. So yes, I have been adding some yarn to my cart, and I have now started planning my autumn and winter projects, or what I want to knit next year, because I already know what I'm knitting for spring and summer. So I'm like, oh, I can start planning again. So there's a couple of things that I've seen recently that I'm very, very keen on. And the first one is the loon sweater. Now, I need to get this up so I get the right information. Right, so the loon sweater is by Patterns by CM Knits, and it's available on Ravelry and Etsy. And I'll pop up a photo here so you can see, but it is so gorgeous. And I am obsessed with all of the test knitters, colors that they use. I think I'm going to do, I don't know, but I really, really love the dark navy with the cream band and the navy ducks. I think I really, really love that, but then also the reverse. I think I would do the reverse for my partner and do cream with cream ducks and a navy band. But yeah, I am just obsessed with that pattern. I have been ever since I saw her start posting about it, and I am so, so, so excited that it is now available. I haven't purchased it yet because obviously, like, I don't need it right now, but that is my #1 pick for next year when I do knit my sweaters again. What else have I got saved? Okay, obviously the Lakes pullover by Rosetta. Everyone's knitted it this year. There's nothing special about it, but I just really love the saddle shoulder construction, and I think I want to use Cascade 220. I've seen quite a few people knit the Lakes pullover in that yarn or wool, and I really like how it is after blocking and the drape that it has. So yeah, very excited. I don't know where or if I can get Cascade 220 in Australia. I haven't even looked for that yet. I just know that I love it on there. So I want it for me. But yeah, there's that. What else? Oh, this is another really cool one that I found, and I believe it is currently in the testing phase. Parker, don't eat that, thank you. Yeah, I believe it's currently in the testing phase, so I'm hoping by the time it comes autumn for us next year, it'll be available. But it is the Moose Sweater by Kate Create Designs, and I am obsessed with this. I've never done color work before. I haven't done a drop shoulder before, but something about this pattern, it's just different, and I am obsessed with it. Like the little motifs, the colors that she's used. We don't have moose here in Australia, I don't think. Yeah, I definitely don't think we do. But there's just something that I love so much about this. It's giving like grandpa vibes, like slightly oversized, like it actually just makes me really happy. I don't know what else about it is. I love the collar and how there's the cream band with the little cross motif on it. I think that's what it is. It's a little like diamond cross situation, but yeah, I love it so much. It's so cute and so different, and I actually haven't seen a knitting pattern like it. I'm sure that there's definitely like knitting patterns out there similar or like it, but I just haven't yet seen one come across my feed. And so when I first saw that, I was like, yes, immediately yes. Okay, what else? The Nora neck. This, I would not have ever considered this a pattern for myself until I saw Lynn's do it and then style it and wear it, and oh my god, it is so gorgeous and such a versatile piece that I would not have considered it the way I do now until I saw her knit it up and then start wearing it. And now I'm so inspired to do it and also look for more pieces like that are those layering pieces for autumn, where it might be a little bit chilly in the morning, but it's not chilly enough for a coat or a jacket. But this little slipped over just gives you something a little bit extra. And also it's just a really fun accessory and statement piece. And yeah, I love the I-cords off of it. I've never knitted an I-cord before. I have no idea if they're easy or difficult, but something about it I just really love. I also don't know if I love turtlenecks or anything yet. Haven't knitted a turtleneck, haven't worn a turtleneck since I was a child, so that could go horribly wrong. But yeah, I just really enjoy it. Don't know what I'm going to use to knit it yet. I'll probably have a look on Ravelry to see who else has knitted it and what they've used and how it drapes once they've blocked it. What else? Just gonna rattle off a couple more that I've saved that are like in my wish list, I guess. I'm not gonna go into too much detail about them, but I will flick up pictures of them so you can see. Another PetiteKnit pattern, the Key sweater. I just really love this. It's a little bit different. I think it's quite simple, classic, timeless. I really like the colors that she's done it in the photo that I'm looking at. Yeah, I just think it's something a little bit different to just a classic striped sweater. The Harriet sweater by Lay Knit. I know a lot of people have done this. I first saw this on Pinterest and thought that this was actually a sweater people were buying, and I kept trying to find it. Like, obviously I then found out that it was a knitting pattern and I could make it myself. But yeah, haven't done color work yet, so that's a 2026 thing we'll try. The new Norma sweater by My Favorite Things Knitwear, again a classic, so many people have knitted this. What else have we got? Oh, the halibut sweater by Caitlin Hunter. I don't love fish, I don't fish, I don't eat fish, but something about just having a jumper with the fish on it, I love it. It's again different, a little bit fun, but I think that it would fit really well into my wardrobe. Again, people have done so many different colors that I really like that I'll probably just have a look on Ravelry to see which one I like best. But yeah, I think that's kind of like most of what I will knit, and then I will probably consider some slipovers, like vest type situations to help layer in autumn. So that is kind of everything that we're up to. I'm hoping to be able to get quite a fair bit of knitting done in the last 2 months of the year. We are in November. I don't know at what stage in November this video will go up, but yes, hoping to get quite a fair bit done because so far this year I only have 2 finished projects. A lot on the needles. I don't think I'll be able to get everything that's on my needles finished this year, but I'm hoping to be able to get at least 2 or 3 of them done and dusted. Also making a Christmas quilt as a gift for someone. So we've got a lot of crafty things going on right now in our lives. And in spring and summer, I normally want to get outside into my garden. So it's a big juggle that I am learning how to juggle, I guess. But yes, again, if you could tell me pretty please how we're storing our needles and our cords and just like all of our notions and things like that, because right now I have like a little plastic pencil case for like some pencils and some notions and things like that. My measuring tape's just in the bottom of my basket. I do have this set of circular needles as well, so it is holding like some of my notions in the back pocket, but I just don't love it. And it's obviously full because I bought it as a set when I started knitting. But yeah, thank you so much for being here. I hope you enjoyed my rambling yet again. I hope you got if you're knitting, I hope you got a fair bit done on your project and you're not ending up like me with a million things halfway through. If you have any questions about any of my whips that I've mentioned today, please definitely leave them down in the comments, or you can find me on Instagram and TikTok and you can send me a message there, and I'm more than happy to chat about them in a little bit more detail and my experience with them as well. If you are knitting any gift knits this year, good luck. I hope you do not have the time pressure that I have right now to get those done. And I'm sure whoever you're gifting them to will absolutely love it and appreciate all the hard work and effort you've put in to those. And yeah, if you're currently in the Northern Hemisphere and you're doing your autumn winter plans, please let me know what you're knitting. I hope the couple of things that I've mentioned today give you a bit of an idea of where my head's going in terms of 2026 knitting plans, but I am always open to new ideas and inspiration, so please definitely let me know what you're currently working on. I love reading through the comments and then finding on Ravelry or on TikTok or even the pattern itself on designer websites, having a look and then adding those to my wish list as well. Enjoy the rest of your week. Have a lovely evening. I hope you enjoyed your beverage and this chat. I really appreciate you being here. Hopefully in the next podcast episode we have some finished objects to talk about. But if you want to keep up to date on all of my whips, my Whip Wednesdays, finished projects, when they come, I do post on TikTok sometimes. Not very consistent with that. I do it when I remember. I work 9 to 5, so you know, sometimes we're a very busy person. But yeah, happy knitting!